As we all know, there were 26 English letters in the English language, which we already know for the alphabet songs we listened to when we were children. But in the Far East, in China, which uses Chinese characters, has thousands of letters which are Chinese characters. Graphically, Chinese characters are very different from the Latin alphabet, which is like a barcode, while the Chinese characters are more like a QR code. But when you type on the keyboard, you may always wonder how the Chinese use the 26-key keyboard to type Chinese characters are not at all like English. They do not have their own set of keyboards. There isn't a special keyboard that contains all the thousands of Chinese characters is here. Well, back to when ASCII was invented, in addition to some format symbols such as line breaks and backspace and so on, only included capital and lowercase Latin letters and some punctuation. But this was perfectly sufficient for English-speaking countries. They later released a new version with diacritical marks to meet the needs of European languages. In 1980, China released the code character site for Chinese characters for information exchange that is called GB231280 coded character site, which began the history of Chinese characters being able to input-output and successfully realized the integration of China with the internet world. In 1986, Newsweek magazine published an article titled "The Ancient Script Finally Catched Up with the Computer Age." The article predicted that the strange combination of the ancient script and the silicon world would bring great changes to the structure of the economic and cultural life in Asia, and it came true. The input of Chinese characters can be roughly divided into two ideas, namely pronunciation and its shape. Each Chinese character has its own pronunciation, and their sounds are limited, about 400, so that they can be recorded using a limited number of different combinations of the Latin alphabet. Majority came to China and missionary in 1582, but the literacy rate of the Chinese people was very low at that time. So, majority used the Latin alphabet for Chinese phonetic transcription at the time, from the earliest phonetic transcription scheme. Later, Thomas Francis Wade invented the Witoma pinyin, which provided the basis for the Chinese pinyin scheme. The name Peking University on the album of Peking University's traditional Witoma pinyin over Beijing University if it is used in modern phonetic notation. A unified phonetic transcription is entered through the keyboard, and the computer uses intelligent algorithms to determine the Chinese characters it wants to enter. If I want to type while in the C, but the Chinese word while is homonym for situation, the computer uses context to determine which word should be used. And in the C, the thing can only be the while but also the situation, so it automatically matched the correct word. Another way to think about it is a shape. Through shape, we just mentioned that Chinese characters look like a picture, like a QR code. So, to describe how this picture is formed is the idea of shape input method. All the Chinese characters are very complex. They can also be divided into radicals one by one. These things called radicals are just like the root and affix in English, which can be combined with independent words to form a new horned word. It is also likened to the combination of roots and affixes to form new words, but the two are not completely equal. Take Chinese characters as shown for the example. Gen means root, mu on the left means wood, and gen on the right means mountain. And the part of wood connected to the mountain is called the root. Yeah, it's so easy. easy to understand. At the same time, gun on the right is pronounced as same as gun, so it also indicated the pronunciation of the word. On the basis, we split it into radicals. The first radical is wood, but the following mountain is too complicated, so we can continue to break them up into this and this, and then they are distributed on the keyboard over the three keys S, V, and E. So just to hit those three keys, and gun can be pointed into the computer. There are many radicals in Chinese characters. How many they distributed regularly? This input method is arranged in a small way to the alphabet in English, which is how the first stroke of the radicals is written. There are 5 ways of writing in Chinese characters. Basically, according to the ideal of divide, each can be divided into 5 keys to keep these radicals on the 26 letters keyboard. Chinese character input method said to be the crystallization of the wisdom of Chinese computer scholars, which reflects the determination and ability of Chinese people in integrating with the world and developing internationalization. If you are interested in this content, you can also learn Chinese by yourself and use the method that to type it out.